Welcome to the Arkansas Food Farms and Forests podcast, the podcast bringing you the latest on food, fiber, and forestry research from the Arkansas Agricultural Experiment Station, the research arm of the University of Arkansas System Division of Agriculture.
Welcome to Food, Farms, and Forests. I'm your host, Jennifer Fouch. Today, we are happy to share with you the May 2024 Arkansas Agricultural Research Report, a monthly roundup of the top stories from the Arkansas Agricultural Experiment Station. In this edition, find out who was recently named a Fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science. Low-frequency microwaves destroy weed seeds underground, prompting further studies as a broad-spectrum application. A new soil prediction model was developed to provide speedier options. What makes a chicken more water efficient than others, and why does it matter? Keith Berry Jr. joins the experiment station as its first-ever research development specialist. Big news. Researchers uncover what makes some chickens more water efficient than others. In the first scientific report of its kind, researchers in Arkansas showed that chickens bred for water conservation continued to put on weight despite heat stress that would normally slow growth. Research by the Arkansas Agricultural Experiment Station indicates a specially bred line of chickens could save growers thousands of gallons of water and thousands of pounds of food each month without sacrificing poultry health. Sarah Orlowski, Associate Professor of Poultry Science, bred the divergent lines of chicken for water consumption. Sammy Dreedy, Professor of Poultry Science specializing in avian endocrinology and molecular genetics, and Walter Bocci, Professor of Poultry Science, were also part of the project, funded by a USDA Sustainable Agriculture Systems multi-institutional grant led by the Center of Excellence for Poultry Science. You can read this full story by checking out the link in the episode description. Top notch. Poultry scientist honored as a Fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science. For his contributions to science, Wayne Kunzel was recently honored as a Fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science. Kunzel conducts research through the Arkansas Agricultural Experiment Station. He teaches courses on physiology and neuroendocrinology in the Poultry Science Department of the Dale Bumpers College of Agricultural, Food, and Life Sciences at the University of Arkansas. He's also affiliated with the Center of Excellence for Poultry Science. The American Association for the Advancement of Science is one of the world's largest general scientific societies and publishes the Science family of journals. You can find a link to the full story in this episode's description. USDA NIFA grant supports microwave tech to zap weed seeds. Scientists and engineers with the Arkansas Agricultural Experiment Station are investigating the use of 915 megahertz microwaves to neutralize a variety of weed seeds underground. Nilda Burgos, Professor of Weed Physiology and Molecular Biology, is the principal investigator on this project, made possible by a nearly $300,000 Agriculture and Food Research Initiative grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture's National Institute of Food and Agriculture, with additional support from the Cotton Board and Cotton Incorporated. Griffiths Atungulu, Associate Professor and Agricultural Engineer for Grain Processing and Post-Harvest Systems, is the co-principal investigator. Atungulu and Kaushik Luthra, Food Science Postdoctoral Fellow, conducted the preliminary study. You can read more details about this story in the link in our show notes. New faces. New role aims to help faculty improve chances at grant funding. To bolster grant funding efforts, Keith Berry Jr. has joined the Arkansas Agricultural Experiment Station as its first-ever research development specialist. In this new role, Berry's goal is to enhance the connection between faculty and grant funding opportunities and to better equip them for the competitive proposal process. You can read the full story by clicking the link in our show notes. Research Spotlights. Soil testing time saver predicts key soil health characteristics. Farmers in a time crunch have a new, speedier option for analyzing the texture and organic matter content of the soil on their fields. Gerson Drescher, Assistant Professor of Soil Fertility, led a study to create prediction models for these key soil health indicators based on standard tests already being used to analyze soil samples. For more details on this story, check out the link in our show notes. Slow growth diet before breeding offered better long-range health in pigs. Researchers with the Arkansas Agricultural Experiment Station found that slow weight gain for female pigs before breeding showed improvements in performance throughout 4 breeding cycles. Charles Maxwell, professor of animal science, and Toon Cheng Sai, a swine nutrition researcher in the animal science department, joined 3 industry partners in developing a 2-year study that mimics a practice done with dairy cows since the 1980s. For more details on this story, you can check out the link in our show notes. Thanks for listening to this month's Arkansas Agricultural Research Report on food farms and forests. Please be sure to visit our website, aaes.uada.edu/news, to access some additional content, including our 2 latest Behind the Discovery videos featuring Assistant Professor of Entomology and Plant Pathology Emily McDermott and Assistant Professor of Animal Science Kelly Vierk. And don't forget to sign up for our newsletter on our website and subscribe to the Food Farms and Forests podcast for the latest news from the Arkansas Agricultural Experiment Station.
The Arkansas Food Farms and Forests podcast is produced by the Arkansas Agricultural Experiment Station, the research arm of the University of Arkansas System Division of Agriculture. Visit aaes.uada.edu for more information.